Please bear with me because there's so much to this, but I'm going to tell you guys the story of how I found out that my mom was using drugs. And I was probably 9 years old, and at the time, so my bio dad like isn't not in the picture at all. He comes in the picture way later, but for now he's just, we'll say he's not. And my stepdad was addicted to heroin. I don't like to call him my stepdad because really he's the only dad I had, but for the sake of you guys to understand and follow this, that's what it is. So when things got rough and bad and they ended up finally separating, I just kind of like ended up with my brother and sister's family. That was their dad's family. I was the oldest. I was the firstborn from my dad and my mom. So my mom didn't have like people on her side of the family to take care of me. My brother and sister did. So I was like there by proxy, but I never fit in because I wasn't their blood, and I just as a child I felt like a burden. It was there's so much trauma and lore that goes with that too, and I can tell you guys about that. But I finally convinced them to let me go with my mom, and I understand now why they were protecting me from my mom, but at the same time I wasn't necessarily not in danger or lack of trauma being in their care, to put it lightly. So I'm with my mom. It's the summertime. We're in this big house. I remember my mom going to sleep with me in the same bed. And I woke up in the middle of the night having to go to the bathroom. And in this house, there was an upstairs and a downstairs, but there was only a bathroom downstairs. And I needed to go to the bathroom. I wake up, my mom's not in bed, no one's in bed, the door's open, every light in this house is on, and rock, like metal music is blaring. Like it's so loud, I would have had to yell if someone was in the same room as me. And it was very disorienting, you know? But I remember just like, I can see this in my mind's eye as if it's like a dream, and like I'm looking at it from third view perspective, but I can still see the staircase and the color of the walls and like how the music got louder as I was walking down the stairs. And you walk through the living room into the kitchen, and off the kitchen, weirdly enough, is where the bathroom was. And this bathroom did not have a doorknob, but the door in would show you the shower, and like way over here was the toilet. So I knew that, so I like knocked and yelled, and no one could hear me if anyone was in there because I really had to pee. And I knew that like if I looked through the doorknob, I wouldn't be invading someone's privacy. Sorry, someone was delivering something and the dogs were going crazy. So I knew that like I would be able to tell if someone was in the bathroom by being able to see their feet based on where the toilet was. So I looked through it because I had to go to the bathroom really bad. No one was answering me, and no one was yelling from the other side, and no one was in there. So in order to not invade someone's privacy to the fullest degree, but also to not pee myself right where I was standing, I peeped through the hole. And that's when I seen someone like sitting down on the ground, and I was like, so then I'm curious, I'm 9 years old, and so I look further and angle myself to where I can fully see, and there are two people in the bathroom. One of them is my mother, and they were essentially preparing to find her vein in order to administer drugs intravenously into her. At the time, obviously I didn't know this, but I just remember seeing her arm being tied off and being a little bit confused, and then seeing the form of administry, the way that they would be administering it, and immediately was like, stepped away from the door, went upstairs, went back to bed. That's all I remember from that. I must not have had to pee after that, but I knew I seen something I wasn't supposed to and I should not have. And my mom had a bit of a temper back then, so I didn't want to get caught catching her.